Hello, this is McD the Beast, and this is McD Sports 4 coming to you today with my North Carolina football predictions for the 2019 college football season. Before I continue, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Please subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciate if you do that. I have a subscriber goal of 200 subscribers. I'd love to hit that goal. Go ahead and hit that subscriber button if you're not subscribed already. You won't regret it. Anyways, North Carolina will go through the pros and cons, the best case and worst case scenario. Then your three toughest and three easiest games. Then we'll go through the schedule game by game. I'll tell you which games I have North Carolina winning and losing. Give you a final record prediction and conference record prediction, and we'll get on out of here. One other quick note before I continue. Don't hold me to the game by game and the scores. Just hold me to the final record prediction at the end. So let's go through the pros and cons. One pro, two cons. First pro is Mack Brown. He's back. Stint 2 with North Carolina. I think he's a big-time pro. He's already up the recruiting there at North Carolina. What I think is going to happen is that Mack Brown is only going to be the coach at North Carolina for like 3 or 4 years. He's going to gear this program in the right direction, and then he's going to hand the keys to someone to get North Carolina over the hump. And I'm also going to say this as well. I do not expect much from North Carolina this year. I know some people think this team's going to make a bowl game this year. I highly doubt that. I think this team is going to have a learning curve this year. I think 2020 on. I do think North Carolina is going to go ahead and be at least in bowl contention. So I think this year is going to be a bit of a rough year, but after this, I think things are going to be on the up in North Carolina. Your two cons, the offense and the defense. North Carolina is a terrible team. They went 2-9 last year. It would have been 2-10, but their game against Central Florida got canceled because of, I think, Hurricane Florence or one of the hurricanes. Hopefully, just a little bit of a side note. Hopefully, there's no hurricanes this year, because we don't want people losing their homes and people losing everything. And I know this is going to sound kind of mean, but we want to watch more college football. But anyways, North Carolina, they're just not a good team. But I think Mack Brown, brings an edge to North Carolina for now and the future. I like Mack Brown for the long haul. Now let's go through your best case and worst case scenario. Here's the schedule right here in front of you. Your best case scenario is 8-4. I'm going to be honest with you. The Clemson game and probably the Virginia and Miami game is probably going to be all losses, and you're probably going to lose a game elsewhere. I mean, maybe you could beat Miami and Virginia. They play in the ACC Coastal, North Carolina. They're going to be in a lot of these games this year because they're in the ACC Coastal. So maybe you win some of these games that you're not supposed to win, and maybe you can find yourselves at 8-4. But that's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario, 2-10. Listen, outside of Mercer, I think the worst case scenario is that you beat Mercer and then you can only win one other game on this schedule. So worst case scenario, 2-10. Best case scenario, 8-4. Three toughest games: Clemson, Miami, and Virginia. Clemson, I'm not going to even explain it. That's the best team in the country, in my opinion. Miami and Virginia, to me, are the two teams that are going to be on top of the ACC Coastal at the end of the year. So that's why I went ahead and picked those two teams as your two of the toughest games of the year, because it's really a drop-off after Clemson. Your three easiest games are Mercer, Georgia Tech, and Duke. Mercer, FCS opponent. A few years ago, Mercer just played their schedule was every SEC team. So this year, hopefully, they get a little bit of a break. They get North Carolina, though. That's going to be North Carolina's easiest game of the year. Georgia Tech, I think Georgia Tech and North Carolina are going to be fighting it. I think they're going to be fighting it out to avoid the cellar and the ACC Coastal. So to me, that's another easy game there for North Carolina. And then I went with Duke. Yes, it's a rivalry game, but to me, Duke is going to definitely take a big-time step back this upcoming season. So that's why I went with them as your third easiest game. Now let's go through the schedule game by game. I'll tell you which games I have North Carolina winning and losing. First game is against South Carolina in Charlotte, North Carolina. Neutral site game here. We already did the South Carolina football prediction video. That actually came out yesterday, so go check that out if you haven't already. I think it's a pretty good video. It already has a like on it, so go ahead and drop a like on that video as well as along with this video. But anyways, I think South Carolina is the better team. I think they get the win here. I think it'll be competitive though. 31-21 South Carolina. I just think South Carolina is the better team. I think Jake Bentley is probably going to do well against this North Carolina defense. Next game, Miami at home. You open up with ACC play against the Miami Hurricanes. If you already watched my Miami football prediction video, you already know who I have in this one. But, in fact, I do have Miami. I do think North Carolina could stay in this one for a half. But at the end, Miami is just a better team. And I got to go with Miami here. 42-20. Next game, at Wake Forest. Just a little bit of two side notes, actually. This game's actually a Friday night game. And it's actually a non-conference game, even though both of these teams are in the same conference. Both of these teams are in opposite divisions in the conference. And he scheduled a series to make the game non-conference. But anyways, the game is in Wake Forest. I think Wake Forest has a very good offense. I think that puts them on top in this game. 45-31. If you already watched my Wake Forest football prediction video, you already knew that I had Wake Forest in this one. North Carolina will keep it competitive, but at the end, Wake Forest is just a better team, 45-31, especially with that offense there at Wake Forest. Next game, Appalachian State. If this game was in Appalachian State, I'll be a bit concerned, but since it's at home, I gave North Carolina the win. Mac Brown's first win and his second stint with the North Carolina Tar Heels. And, excuse me, I think Appalachian State keeps it close, though. I have it 28-20 North Carolina, but I think North Carolina gets the victory here. Next game, Clemson at home. Loss, okay? I'm going to be honest with you. Go check out the Clemson football prediction video, but I'm going to be honest with you. There's no way you win this game. Even if North Carolina plays the best game of the season, that they all the players show out and they play their best game of the season, Clemson's still going to beat them. I have it 44-14 Clemson. North Carolina, I don't think will even be in this game if you want the honest truth. But I'm going to go ahead and go with Clemson 44-14. Next game at Georgia Tech. I think this is a winnable game here for North Carolina. I think, as I said earlier in the video, I think these two teams are fighting it. I think they're going to be fighting it out for the bottom of the ACC Coastal. I went back and forth with it. I gave it to the home team. I do think North Carolina is the better team, but I did give it to Georgia Tech. As I said at the beginning of the video, towards the top of the video, don't hold me to the game-by-game picks. Just hold me to the record at the end. And I needed wins for Georgia Tech, and I'm going with Georgia Tech by a point, 20-19 Georgia Tech. Then you get your first bye week. Every team gets 2 bye weeks because of how the calendar aligns with the schedule. Coming off the bye week, you get to go on the road against Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech, if you haven't heard, their defensive coordinator, Bud Foster, he's going to be retiring after this year. This is going to be his last year. Virginia Tech is kind of a middle-of-the-road team. We already did a football prediction video, so go check that out if you haven't already. But I do think this game is going to be pretty competitive. But at the end, I am going with Virginia Tech by a touchdown, 42-35. Virginia Tech is just the better team. I do think North Carolina will be in this game, though. Next game is your homecoming game at home against Duke. If you haven't heard my analysis on Duke this year, it's okay. I haven't done their football prediction video yet. But we'll be doing the Duke football prediction video within the next few weeks or so. North Carolina, to me, the game's at home. It's a homecoming game. I think Duke is a little bit better than North Carolina, per se. It's a rivalry game. The schools are separated by, I think, 8 miles or something like that. I went with North Carolina. I think Mac Brown gets his first ACC win in his second stint there with North Carolina. I have it 30-24 North Carolina. I'm not high on Duke at all. Give me North Carolina 30-24. Next game, Virginia at home. I have seen people pick this game in North Carolina's favor. I'm not doing it. If you already watched my Virginia football prediction video, you already know how high I am on Virginia. I think Virginia beats North Carolina. I do think North Carolina will keep it kind of competitive, but at the end, I gotta go Virginia here. 38-16. I think Bryce Perkins has a field day against this defense. Then you get your second bye week, and then you get to go on the road against Pittsburgh. It's a Thursday night game. Pittsburgh is the better team. They're going to be in bowl contention. Some people have Pittsburgh at 4-8 this year. I disagree with that. If you watch my Pittsburgh prediction video, you know what I have Pittsburgh at, and you know what I have for this game as well. But I have Pittsburgh winning this game, 33-21. Pittsburgh is just the better team. So give me a Pitt in this one. Next game is Mercer at home. This will be a win. North Carolina should get the win here against Mercer, 45-14. The final game of the year at NC State. If you already watched my NC State football prediction video, you already know who I have in this one. To me, NC State, I think they're a middle of the road team. This is North Carolina's cross division rival every year. But in my opinion, I think North Carolina, they keep this game competitive. It's at NC State. They keep it competitive. They keep it kind of close. But at the end, I got to go NC State here. They're the better team at this point. Give me NC State to win this one 30-17. So if you count up all the wins and losses, I have North Carolina going 3-9 with a 1-7 conference record. 3-9 with a 1-7 conference record. As I said at the beginning of the video, I don't expect much from North Carolina this year. I think 2020 on, though, I think North Carolina will be at least in bowl contention. It would not surprise me if North Carolina maybe goes 5-7, maybe even sneak into a bowl game at 6-6. But I think personally, North Carolina, I think they struggle some this year. 3-9 with a 1-7 conference record. Comment down below. Tell me where you think I have North Carolina going. I always like the feedback. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Please subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciate if you do that. Don't forget about the subscriber goal of 200 subscribers by August 24th. I would love to hit that goal. I think we're 60 subscribers away from hitting that goal. So we have a little bit of ways to go, but go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. Greatly appreciate if you do that, and you won't regret it. Thanks for watching. This is McD the Beast signing off.